All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto you. How about Shemal Shabbat, Shemar Kakodash, the bonus of the apostle, others, a great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. Yeah, more in the news of Esau, more in the news of this current wicked world. What we see in the New York Times, steak grown from human cells sparks interest and outrage. As the days approach until the end, we're going to see more and more, wickedness. The scripture says that in the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, how, wickedness, basically governs the earth. That's why it says wickedness in high places in the book of Ephesians, the 6th chapter. So the elitists, the government, which the word governance to rule meant is your mind. All right, the rulers of the minds of the people, which also entails their resources, their products that they actually can distribute. It's all inundated with sorcery and witchcraft, man. That's why it's Esau is taking human DNA, and he's been doing this, man. This is now starting to come in the public eye, but he's taking it's all kind of different foods that always have traces of these different products within it, whether it's bat shit, different urine, and that's what's called spirit cooking on the left hand side. But it says steaks grown from human cells spark interest and outrage. An artist project offering an absurdist take on the lab-grown meat industry triggers a debate and backlash in London. The installation of steak grown from human cells at the Design Museum in London was intended to criticize the meat industry's rising use of living cells from animals. It ended up triggering a rolling debate about bioethic and the pitfalls of artistic critique. Yeah, so, a lot of people, you see this calling it evil. A lot of people, it's sparking an outrage, but that's part of, propaganda. To see the reaction of the people, because the times that we live in, a lot of people are, is getting to the point where the products that you see before you that you think is food is not really food. All right. It's inundated, like I said, with chemicals, in niggas terms. I researched, I heard of Jake, always, these little niggas in rap always speak about stepped on. I looked it up, and it just basically says products that has, extra materials in it to expand it, which is pure witchcraft. Niggas talking about drugs and dope, but where do they learn that stuff from? The so-called white man. He's the one that takes these different products and expands it with all kind of sorcery. That's why you have the term pharmakeia, which is a spell given potion. It is witchcraft. So this is Jeremiah 19:9, and I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one of the flesh of his friend in the siege and straightness wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straighten them. Yeah, so we know there's going to be a famine, and what's crazy on top of that, it's going to be literally people eating their sons and daughters, and you see that Esau, what he's doing, he's being very reactive to the times of crisis, taking resources, like I said, dung and leftovers, and putting, artificial spices and all that shit and mixing it in it just for man to sustain, because we're at the end, as things get worse and worse, it gets progressively worse. We're going to see this world dilapidate and deteriorate. And the ones that hold fast the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shema Shah actually enduring until the end. I want to get to some Revelations, the 18th chapter. Revelations 18, and started 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And that wine of the wrath of the fornication is talking about Babylon the Great. All right, and how they fornicated with all nations. That's why you see these things going on in France. You see these things going on in Spain. You see these things going on all over the earth, because the witchcraft of E, it has a wingspan. That's why Psalms the 83rd chapter. It even speaks about how wickedness has grown like a green bay tree. You know, it expanded and it flooded the earth. That's why it tells you that in Revelations. The if I'm not mistaken, the 12th chapter with the this Esau coming in, coming through like a flood, which is Esau telling all those different lies, and the earth helped the woman. So Revelations 18:3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven say, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Yeah, so the wickedness and the witchcraft of America has reached to the heavens. And we've seen instances where kingdoms, got to a certain status quo, and the Lord broke them down. He said that about Egypt. He said that about the Tower of Babel. Second is the 9th chapter. Esau reached his prime. He already had his prime time. This is the fall of this kingdom. The scripture says everything to have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So that's just more than with this left-hand side science, left-hand side projects. This man has to pay for each and everything. So I want to end by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Shema Shah Shema Kakodash, the abundance of the apostle and others, a great millstone, and Shalom Maki.